Former undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes says he's at the tail end of his WWE babyface run, teasing a heel turn in the near future. We got the latest update on tickets distributed for AEW All in Texas in July. AEW reportedly is going to be more selective when it comes to which former WWE free agents they sign in the future. Details on how WWE changed plans for John Cena's pipe bomb to make CM Punk's long lie down less cringy on SmackDown. Scrap plans for Io Sky at Night of Champions have been revealed. Drew McIntyre reportedly isn't set to return to WWE TV anytime soon. WWE producer and TNA wrestling legend The Monster Abyss confirms he's retired from in-ring action. We have the viewership information for last week's episode of Raw on Netflix. Seth Rollins reportedly is set for brand new music, and Paul Heyman is set for a brand new nickname on WWE TV. AEW is set to return to the Hammerstein Ballroom later this year. An update on Otus' absence from WWE television. WWE Unreal Season 1 has a premiere date on Netflix, and the WWE Vault admin answered popular requests, including some hidden gems that could be set to be posted on the channel soon. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with possible heel plans for the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes in WWE. Of course, he's been the babyface of all babyfaces ever since he returned to WWE in 2022. It's been years since Cody Rhodes has portrayed a full-on villain in wrestling, and he's since become one of the most popular heroes in WWE. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson attempted to turn Rhodes to the dark side earlier this year, and reports in recent months claim that he is pushing for Rhodes to turn heel backstage as well. Speaking to Kay Adams during Friday's Fanatics Fest Games, Rhodes offered some perspective on his status as a long-time babyface. He said, quote, "I don't ever get tired of it," the wrestler said, "because you get to have all of this and these moments. I do think we're probably at the tail end of it, though. There's only so much someone can like you. I would love to do it until the end of my career." However, fans expecting an imminent heel turn from Rhodes shouldn't hold their breath. When pressed to provide a timeline, Rhodes stated that he could remain a babyface for another year or as many as 3. That is, if you take the wrestler at his word. He said, quote, "I'm not changing until I'm changed, if that makes sense," Rhodes stated. "If The Rock had it his way, I would have been changed already. So I think he sees something that maybe I don't see, and that's a very smart individual. So maybe I follow his lead, maybe not." Now, commenting on The Rock's absence in recent months, Rhodes pointed out Johnson's busy schedule, which now seemingly includes an appearance in a Martin Scorsese project. As for Rhodes, he's set to wrestle longtime friend and mentor Randy Orton in the King of the Ring finals this Saturday at Night of Champions. The winner is seemingly set to go on to face John Cena or Gunther for the undisputed WWE Championship or World Heavyweight Championship next month at SummerSlam. Now, an update here on the tickets distributed for AEW All in Texas. Of course, the show set to take place on Saturday, July 12th from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. In a new update, over 18,000 tickets have been distributed for the stadium show, 18,574 to be specific. There is still a current setup of 22,178, meaning that there is 3,604 tickets available at the time of recording this video. However, for the second consecutive week, AEW has moved over 1,000 tickets in the last 7 days. At the time recording, there is 17 days still to go until the show, and the arena could be opened up for a total of 42,234. However, at the moment, it looks like it's unlikely they would reach that number. Now, speaking about AEW, a bit of an update here when it comes to free agents they could sign from WWE. Now, during All Elite Wrestling's early years, the promotion signed a huge number of former WWE talents with mixed success. For every Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland, who went on to become AEW World Champions, there has been a Rusev or Malachi Black, who were repeatedly resistant to losing to other wrestlers in the promotion. All Elite Wrestling have slowed down on signing ex-WWE wrestlers over the last year, with Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reporting that AEW have indeed been way more picky about who is signed to the promotion. This is primarily due to the past situations of former WWE wrestlers signing with AEW, not enjoying their time in the promotion, and later returning to WWE. This doesn't necessarily mean All Elite Wrestling are completely opposed to bringing in former WWE talents, but Fightful noted there won't be a huge amount of former WWE talent signed by AEW. Over the past year, the few high-profile ex-WWE talents to sign with AEW include Ricochet, Bobby Lashley, MVP and Shelton Benjamin of the Hurt Syndicate. Ricochet has established himself as one of AEW's top heels, while the Hurt Syndicate are the reigning AEW World Tag Team Champions. All Elite Wrestling have instead looked to TNA Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling, having signed the likes of Josh Alexander, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight over the past several months. Now, last Friday, we saw the pipe bomb from John Cena to CM Punk. 14 years on from CM Punk's pipe bomb, John Cena cut his own pipe bomb on the June 20th episode of Friday Night SmackDown after putting Punk through the Slim Jim table. Punk was laying down on the table for 12 minutes as Cena called back to the original pipe bomb, while also mentioning Nick Nemeth, Claudio Castagnoli, and Matt Cardona by name for the build to the undisputed WWE title match at Night of Champions. After 8 minutes, a referee slid into the ring to check on Punk, and they remained alongside the 46-year-old for the remaining 4 minutes of the segment, with Cena even acknowledging the official's arrival by saying, No, that's fine. I'm not going to do any more damage. He's got to rest up. He's got a big championship match ahead of him. The best in the world gets a good shot versus the greatest of all time for the most coveted prize in sports entertainment, the WWE Undisputed Championship. Even though it was a direct recreation of Cena lying on a table throughout CM Punk's original pipe bomb, there was some criticism aimed at Punk for lying down for 12 minutes. The sheer length of Punk's selling also prompted WWE to change plans, with WrestleVotes reporting on a Backstage Pass Q&A that WWE sent out the referee to make Punk's long lie down seem less cringy. Quote, I heard on Saturday that if you go back and rewatch the segment, you'll see after about 5 minutes of him laying there, a referee slide into the ring to check on him. I heard they did that to make it seem less cringy, that he was just laying there. That wasn't supposed to be the case, but I guess somebody in the back said he can't just lay there for 10 minutes, send somebody out, WrestleVote said. Of course, when it comes to Night of Champions, it's been up in the air the last couple of days. However, the event still looks to be going ahead in Riyadh on Saturday. Speaking of Night of Champions, bit of an update here on possible original plans for Io Sky. Io Sky has only defended the Women's World Championship on 2 occasions since defeating Rhea Ripley for the title back on March 3rd, and the current champion hasn't defended the title at all since WrestleMania 41. Plans were in place for Io Sky to defend the Women's World Championship on the Premium Live event, though, with Bodyslam.net reporting that Sky was scheduled to go one-on-one with Liv Morgan at Night of Champions on Saturday, June 28. The match was scrapped following Morgan's injury, however. WWE were forced to change several plans due to Liv Morgan's freak injury, which saw the Women's Tag Team Champions suffer a dislocated shoulder on the June 16th edition of Raw. Morgan is expected to be out of action for 6 months, with WWE's plans for Evolution and Judgment Day also changing as a result of Morgan's injury. Amid Morgan's absence, it is expected that Roxanne Perez will replace her as one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions and team with Raquel Rodriguez. Something was hinted at Monday on Raw this week. While plans for Io Sky versus Liv Morgan had to be scrapped, a future Women's World title match between Sky and Asuka was hinted at on Monday's Raw, with both competitors acknowledged a split of damage control. Asuka, of course, will face Jade Cargill in the final of the Queen of the Ring tournament at Night of Champions. Now, an update here on a possible return to WWE TV for Drew McIntyre. An update has emerged on McIntyre, who has been absent from WWE since Saturday night's main event on May 24th. McIntyre lost to Damian Priest in a steel cage match at the WWE special, with it later being reported that he'd be taking an extended leave of absence. This came after confirmation that Drew McIntyre had been working hurt and was able to turn his head all the way to the left. With McIntyre having been absent for a month at the time of recording, details have emerged that cast doubt on an imminent return. WrestleVotes recently revealed that McIntyre is seemingly not set to make a return in the near future, noting, quote, nothing in the pipeline recently, which tells me it's not imminent, but when he's ready, if I'm booking, I would put him at the top. I think the guy deserves it. Now, at Backlash in May, McIntyre seemingly hit his head on the floor during a four-way match for the United States Championship. Speaking after the event, Triple H noted that McIntyre was a little banged up, but totally fine. In April of last year, it was reported that McIntyre's current WWE deal will see him remain with the company until 2027. Now, there had been some questions about the in-ring status of TNA wrestling legend Abyss, and whilst he hasn't wrestled in quite some time, he does work for WWE. Now, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select spoke to Chris Park yesterday, also known, of course, as Abyss. He's featured in the WWE 2K25 Dunk and Destruction DLC pack, complete with his Janus weapon and classic entrance theme. While there has never been an official announcement regarding his in-ring status, he's not wrestled in over 6 years since his hiring at WWE as a producer/agent. Quote, to answer quite frankly, I'm done. I don't have plans to ever wrestle again. Never say never, but I don't see it in the cards, and I don't want it in the cards. I'm so happy what I'm doing as a producer. Before elaborating, he said that he hasn't pushed to be an on-screen character, but wouldn't be opposed to appearing as the Joseph Park character on screen. Park seemed incredibly fulfilled with what he's doing and said that he's loved game planning and working on that end of things in WWE. He did confirm, however, that he nearly joined WWE on a number of occasions in the 2000s and was very flattered by their offers. Now let's talk about the viewership information for last week's episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. After nearly 2 months of subpar numbers and questions over said numbers, the June 9th episode of WWE Raw was a welcome relief for WWE and Netflix. That's what they were looking for. The Red Brand posted some of its highest numbers during its run on Netflix, with a John Cena vs. CM Punk program now in full swing. Some wondered if this was maybe the start of things starting to turn around. Instead, it appears it was a one-week aberration before Raw fell back to its gnome. WrestleNomics is reporting that the June 16th Raw drew 2.7 million viewers over the course of the last week. This was down from the 2.9 million views from June 9th and was back in line with the total views Raw has drawn since WrestleMania 41. Hours viewed was also down, falling from 6.1 million to 5 million, tying the June 16th Raw for the second lowest number of hours viewed with the May 19th and June 2nd episodes. The news was less bad for Raw in the global and domestic Netflix top 10 rankings, although both of those were also down. On the global side, Raw placed 9th, down 2 spots from June 9th. One of only 5 times Raw has fallen below 8th place. Domestically, Raw placed 4th, falling 1 spot but remaining consistent with Raw's usual placement in the US rankings. While the hype for Cena and Punk continued to build on Raw, the big story coming out of the show was the return of Bill Goldberg. The WCW and WWE Hall of Famer made his first appearance since last fall, challenging new World Heavyweight Champion Gunther to a title match at Saturday night's main event, in which Goldberg declared will be his final match as a professional wrestler. Seth Rollins, he's set to receive new music in the near future. Wrestlers' entrance music is a hot topic of conversation amongst fans, in WWE in particular, more often than not. And according to Brian Alvarez on Tuesday's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, a top WWE star on Raw may be getting a new tune to replace the one that fans often sing along to in live crowds. According to Alvarez, WWE is working on new music for Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins. Rollins' current song, titled The Vision, replaces popular song fans simply knew as Burn It Down, and Alvarez argued is part of what helped turn Rollins babyface, and now the Visionary is heel alongside Paul Heyman, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Veteran wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer argued that it doesn't matter if fans cheer or boo Rollins or sing along to his song, he's over, and he said that's fine. On Monday's episode of Raw, fans in Columbus, Ohio didn't seem to be singing his song very loudly, but Alvarez didn't bring up the crowd or if they inspired any change. Changes in a WWE star's entrance music is always a hot topic of discussion and often debate due to WWE's contract with music production group Def Rebel. The group is responsible for many theme song changes, including most recently Jordynne Grace's song on NXT. When fans heard the change, which was made reportedly due to the fact that Grace owns the rights to the song, as well as its similarities to another theme, they began to chant "Fire Def Rebel" in the WWE Performance Center. The divisive group did, however, produce Rollins' current fan favorite theme. Now it looks like there's going to be another change as well, because WWE filed a trademark with the US Patent and Trademark Office to trademark the term the Oracle for entertainment services on June 23rd. Now, on the June 23rd edition of WWE Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins would call Paul Heyman the Oracle, signifying a new nickname for the former wise man. So don't be shocked if he's no longer a wise man, but rather an oracle in the future. AEW seemingly is on their way back to the Hammerstein Ballroom. Plans are reportedly in place for All Elite Wrestling to return to the iconic Hammerstein Ballroom later this year. WrestleVotes reported in a Backstage Pass Q&A that AEW will run the venue at the Manhattan Center in New York City around the Christmas period. Quote, "I've learned through sources that they're going to return to the Manhattan Center, Hammerstein Ballroom this December like they did last year to rave reviews. So New York City, around the holidays, AEW will be back in the Hammerstein Ballroom for a few episodes of their TV," WrestleVotes said. All Elite Wrestling debuted at the Hammerstein Ballroom over the holidays in 2024, with Ring of Honor Final Battle on December 20, a live taping of AEW Collision on December 21st, and a taping of AEW Dynamite on December 22nd, which aired on Christmas Day. AEW President and Ring of Honor owner Tony Khan expressed his interest in returning to the Hammerstein Ballroom following Final Battle 2024. The Hammerstein Ballroom has hosted a number of iconic pro wrestling shows, including the likes of ECW One Night Stand and several editions of Ring of Honor Final Battle. A bit of an update here on the absence of Otus from WWE TV. It's been several weeks since Otus was last on WWE screens, with the former Money in the Bank holder not being seen since the May 5th edition of WWE Raw. Otus lost to a returning Rusev in May and has been absent since. Taking to a Backstage Pass Q&A, WrestleVotes suggests that the Alpha Academy standout is not currently listed on WWE's active roster. Quote, "I believe he's out of action. Don't know if it's an injury or personal reasons. However, we speak about this roster that shows up. Otus is currently not on the roster, which means they're not available right now. For whatever reason, personal, injury, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. However, they've not been available for weekly TV at the moment," said WrestleVotes. Now, Otus comprehensively lost to Rusev in 6 minutes in what was only his second singles match of 2025 and 10th match overall for the year. As Otus' status has not been publicly revealed, there is currently no time frame for a return, or indeed if this is set to be a short-term or long-term absence. Now, we finally have a premiere date for WWE Unreal on Netflix, a show that many people have been interested in seeing. Netflix announced that WWE Unreal will premiere on July 29th. Episodes will be 50 minutes in length. The full description for the show was as follows, quote, "For the first time ever, step into the WWE writer's room and outside the ring with your favorite WWE superstars, where the drama is just as intense offstage as it is under the spotlight. Peyton Manning is listed as an executive producer for the series, as are Jamie Horowitz, Ross Ketover, Keith Crossrow, Ken Rogers, Jessica Brody, Lee Fitting, Ben Hauser, and Mark Pamarico. Of course, this is set to, as I mentioned, premiere in July. And finally, a bit of an update here on WWE Vault, a YouTube channel that many people do like. Now, a year ago, WWE would launch a new YouTube channel noted as WWE Vault, which has been systematically posting rare footage from the WWE archive since. Fans have been quick to praise the admin, as several videos have featured incredibly rare footage. That being said, there are some requests the account has been unable to complete. In a new post on YouTube, the WWE Vault admin would thank their fans for their support for the channel, answering popular requests as they did so. You can see it's on the screen right here. It says, quote, "WWE Vault quietly launched 1 year ago. Since then, we've amassed more than 2 million subscribers and 1 billion views. Thank you, our subscribers, for the support, requests, and recommendations, and, when the situation calls for it, corrections. To make sure we stay on track, we humbly ask that you keep your ideas coming. To show that we're not turning a blind eye to some of the more popular requests, here are some updates. 1. We haven't found footage of Kurt Angle versus Owen Hart or Hogan on the Snake Pit. 2. More Omni live event videos are coming. 3. No, Mystico versus Dean Malenko didn't happen. 4. We have some WCW Cyber Ring footage, mostly on green screen. We promise to keep searching high and low to bring you the best of the WWE Archives, WWE Vault admin." So, what would you like to see on the channel? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, as you can see right there. We're less than 300 subscribers to go until 23,000 on that road to 25k. The aim is to get to 25k in 2025. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Click the notification bell. You'll be notified when new videos go up. Click the like button. And also remember, you can join the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can also click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. Speaking of the sidebar, you can see all upcoming live streams we've got here on the channel. That includes watch-alongs and post-shows for the likes of WWE Night of Champions this weekend, AEW All in Texas, WWE Saturday Night's main event featuring Bill Goldberg's retirement match, and the return of Evolution, WWE's all-women premium live event in July. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, as always, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.